Well, good evening. The 23rd of March 2025, a day that we have concluded a global showpiece. We're talking about the World Rally Championship that was happening down in Nakuru County, specifically in Naivasha, where 36-year-old driver Elfin Evans and his co-driver Scott Martin actually are the winners of the 2025 edition of the WRC. And talking about sports also that continued to dominate our weekend is that Harambee Stars was taking on Gabon's Panthers, and they managed to score 1 goal against 2 from the Panthers. That and so much more is going to be coming up as we sample what has been making headlines in the last 12 hours or so. But first things first, the highlights. Attack on Kenyan soil. Terrorists strike in Fafi, leaving 6 police reservists dead as area leaders call for security reinforcement. The hand for the referee. A busy week for the IEBC selection panel in its quest to reconstitute Kenya's independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission.
Must declare that building is part of me. Nimejenga madarasa tangu niwe mjumbe.
And build I will. Ruto is defiant in the face of criticism over his generosity towards the church. Good evening once again. This is Sunday Express. I'm Regina, Manyara, and my colleague on sign language is none other than Byron Abuli. We start off this particular broadcast with a keen interest on matters security, where at least 6 people were killed on Sunday morning following an Al-Shabaab attack on the National Police Reservist camp in Bimado, Fafi constituency of Garissa County. Police say 4 others were injured during the 5 a.m. incident. Police fathers say that a multi-agency security operatives led by the Anti-Terrorism Police Unit are investigating the incident. Fafi Member of Parliament Farah Yakub is calling for the deployment of more security personnel to the area.
The residents of the Biamado area Fafi constituency of Garissa County are living in fear. Al-Shabaab militants on Sunday morning attacked a National Police Reserve camp in the area, shooting and stabbing people with assorted weapons. 6 people were left dead and 4 were injured.
The camp is isolated. It's an NPR camp and it's really isolated. The nearest GSU camp is around 15 kilometers from that area. The next is Agadere, which is around 25 kilometers. And that's why they took away. They target that village because it's in a corner.
The militants also ransacked the camp and escaped with an unknown number of weapons. Fafi Member of Parliament Farah Yakub says there are fears of more similar attacks happening in the area. He called for the deployment of more security personnel in the area to deal with the situation.
We want and we request more NPR. It's not Kenyan government forces that can help us this. It's us, the community, that can, if we arm the community in necessary way and guide them and control them, these people will be finished. So we request the government to give us around 300 NPRs minimum. 300 NPR so that we can eradicate these people from our area.
The area is near the porous Kenya-Somali border, which is usually breached by the Al-Shabaab militants. Tilio Marco for Sunday Express.
We'll be keeping up with that particular developing story. Now, the quest for new leadership at the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, enters a crucial phase on Mondays. Interviews for the positions of chairperson and commissioners begin. The public interviews conducted by the selection panel will take place at the College of Insurance in Nairobi's South Sea Estate, with 11 candidates set to battle for the chairperson position. The seat has remained vacant for over 2 years following the exit of the late Wafula Chebukati.
Just days after the IEBC selection panel issued the shortlisted candidates and their interview schedule, the first group of the candidates for the chairperson's position will appear before it on Monday. Among them are Abdul Kadir Lorot Ramadan, former Chief Registrar of the Judiciary Ann Atieno Amadi, former East African Court of Justice Judge Charles Ayako Nyachai, and Edward Katama Ngeyua. The sessions will run from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. On Tuesday, Erastus Edung Ethekon, Francis Kakai Kissinger, Jacob Ngwele Muvengei, and Joy Brenda Masinde Mdivo will take their turn before the panel. The final group of Lilian Wanjiku Manegene, Robert Akumu Asembo, and Saul Simiyu Wasilwa will face the interviewers on Wednesday. A total of 37 candidates had expressed interest in the IEBC chairperson position before the list was narrowed down to 11. Once this phase concludes, interviews for the 6 vacant IEBC commissioners' positions will commence from Thursday, March 27th and run until April 24th. A total of 105 candidates, including 32 women, have been shortlisted in this category. Since the Commission's term ended on January 17, 2023, Kenya has lacked a fully functional electoral body, leaving critical electoral processes in limbo. With the ongoing interviews, Kenyans remain hopeful that the appointment of the new IEBC officials will restore normalcy and ensure the Commission resumes its constitutional mandate. Kamchemenza for Sunday Express.
To church now, where President William Ruto has defended his donations to build churches, saying he's been a builder since his early days as a member of parliament. The president, who addressed faithful at the Africa Inland Church in Kericho, Nairobi, said church building will not be left behind as he focuses on building affordable houses for Kenyans. He also broke his silence on the ongoing renovations to have a new-look state house as part of his building legacy. Giverson Minor has the details.
Africa Inland Church in Kericho, Nairobi County, hosted President William Ruto for Sunday service. The president using the platform to slam those opposed to publicizing church donations.
Let me tell you, tutamuhaibisha shetani. Shetani hawezi kutuzuia kujenga nchi yetu ama kujenga makanisa zetu.
Whether we are leaders in the political arena or church leaders to be judges, we should leave the work of judgment to the Almighty God, because every individual who gives in church gives because they know why they are giving thanks to the God that they believe in.
President Ruto said his record as a builder of churches goes way back and he was not about to stop it.
I must declare that building is part of me. Nimejenga madarasa tangu niwe mjumbe.
His sentiment received a backing from AIC Bishop Joshua Kimuyu, who said only God should judge.
Giving can be either. Can either be public or private. I know we cling on the verse that says, let the left hand not know the right hand. But the question is, how did we know how much Solomon gave to dedicate the temple in Jerusalem? It was made public.
The head of state also says affordable housing projects, roads, classrooms and a new look state house, among other projects, is part of the desire for building.
Saa hizi tunajenga manyumba, nia yangu ni 1,500, manyumba 1,500. Hata kule state house mimi najenga. Na sehemu zingine nyingi mimi najenga. Na katika hiyo harakati ya kujenga, pia kanisa la Mungu tutajenga.
Meanwhile, the president, while defending the broad-based government, vowed to work with all leaders from the political divide and religion for the larger good of the country.
Serikali ya Kenya inatutosha sisi zote. Sio lazima mmoja akose ni mwingine apate. Sote tunaweza kupata. It is not that one must lose for one to gain. We can all be winners.
Sisi tunakusupport through broad-based government na tuko nyuma yako kabisa, na maombi pia. Najua na maadui wengi, lakini maombi tarahisha mambo yako.
Giverson Minor, Sunday Express.
And tonight, our conversation on Sunday Express, we're going to be looking at the role that the church is playing, especially when it comes to building capacity among the youth, with a key focus on education. So do keep it right here as we discuss those matters. Now, still on matters security, leaders in Baringo have called for an end to banditry in the strife-torn region, a day after a chief was killed in Chebilat, Tiati constituency. Speaking during an interdenominational prayer in Chemulingot, attended by Head of Public Service Felix Koskei, the leaders urged for peace, or rather called for peace in areas prone to banditry.
Sunday morning at Michuki grounds in Chemolingot, Baringo County, several leaders, among them the head of public service, Felix Koskei, attended an interdenominational prayer service. The leaders condemned the killing of Area Chief Victor Sebei while on a mission to recover stolen goats. County legislators decried banditry, saying it had stalled development in the county.
The president alikuwa Chemolingot, walikuwa wanasumbua hapa. Leo, juzi tu mkuu wa Head of Public Service alipokuja, unapata watu wameanza kuuliwa. Tulikuwa tumepata amani kwa siku chache. Na naomba kila mtu, kama unajua mtu wako na risasi nyumbani na bunduki, huyo sio mtu anachungia hiyo bunduki ya kupika ugali. Hiyo ni adui ya maendeleo.
Watu wa Tiati aliwachagua ili tuwasaidie. Mimi staki kila wakati tunalia ya kuwa watu wajasoma, na wale wamesoma kazi yao ni nini? Pelekeni watu waende shule, tuamushe kila mtu aende shule. Ile kitu naomba, hakuna mtu atatoka huko nje kukuja kuambia nyinyi mkae hivi. Charity begins at home.
Koskei emphasized the importance of peace in fostering development.
Lengo yetu ya hii serikali sana na rais ndio amesisitiza na amenituma na amekuja hapa mara mingi, anataka kuona ya kwamba tuko na amani Tiati, tuko na amani North Rift, ili tupate maendeleo kama sehemu zingine za nchi hii. Amani ndio itafungua kila kitu.
He stated that the government will not relent in the war against banditry. Kasi Chandamasha, Sunday Express.
To health now, where the death toll from the Kala-Azar disease outbreak in Wajir County has hit 20, with most victims being children under 5. The county is also grappling with fewer test kits as a main level 4 hospital is overrun with more admissions each day, causing a conversion of most wards into Kala-Azar management units.
The number of those presenting with Kala-Azar disease in Wajir County is on the rise, with hardly any room for admission, forcing some patients to sleep under trees.
So far, we have 85 patients admitted at the Wajir County Referral Hospital. We have 18 who are pending to be investigated.
Amid a shortage of testing kits which have to be outsourced, Governor Ahmed Abdullahi is calling on the national government to quickly come to their aid.
The test kits actually are very specialized. We have to get them all the way from Netherlands. And then there's the curative aspect, which is actually spraying with some form of pesticide the area where these flies hide.
The Health County Executive Committee member Habiba Ali says 20 people have lost their lives so far, mostly children under 5.
Children have low immunity, so they cannot be able to fight any, invasive microorganism.
The most affected regions are Eldas and Wajir West, where the Wajir County government has started fumigation targeting over 10,000 households.
The indoor household spraying and fumigation is targeted both Wajir West and Eldas, not only Eldas. But the disease has risen recently after the long rain of December El Nino 2023.
Kala-Azar, also known as vestral leishmaniasis, is a life-threatening disease caused by leishmania parasites transmitted by sandflies and characterized by fever, weight loss and enlargement of the spleen and liver, and is fatal if left untreated. Mariambo reporting for Sunday Express.
Now, a section of residents from Chaleni and Donyo Sabuk areas in Matungulu sub-county, Machakos County, staged a protest today, voicing their frustration over what they perceived as neglect by the Machakos County government, claiming that no development had been undertaken in the area. The protest grew intense that police officers from the Donyo Sabuk police station were forced to retreat to their station after being overwhelmed by the large crowds of angry demonstrators.
During the protest, the residents planted trees and vegetables along the roads, which have become impassable due to poor maintenance, especially during rainy periods.
Tangu tulipo fanya uchaguzi, imekuwa tu ikielezewa ya kwamba tutajengewa barabara, tutawajengea barabara. Na kama vile mmeona tangu mahali tulipoanzia maandamano ni matope na ile black cotton soil, ambapo ukikwama pale inaweza ikakuchukua hata siku mzima.
Police officers from Donyo Sabuk police station, who had been dispatched to disperse the protesters, were forced to retreat to their station after being overwhelmed by the crowd. The protesters voiced concerns about dilapidated roads, lack of medicines in hospitals, no bursaries, and the feeling of neglect by the local government.
Kama bazari ilikuwa inapewa tu wale watu wanajiweza, wale ambao hawakujiweza hawakupewa bazari. Bengo ni vile vile tu ilipewa na hata ilikuwa inauzwa, na hatutaki hiyo. Kama nakuja chini utuelezee vile itakuwa.
Tunasema barabara ni mbaya na itengenezwe, hatuna mambo na kitu ingine. Ile ingine ni mahospitali, tunaambiwa mahospitali iko na madawa na ukienda hapo unatumwa kwa chemist.
Hivi ndio itakuwa sasa mtindo. Manake wanasema kazi, wanakuja wanapiga kura, lakini kazi haifanywi. Kule mbungeni tunapatiana pesa za kutengeneza barabara. Tukishapeana pesa, tunashinda tukizungushwa hapo, mheshimiwa hakuna pesa za mafuta, hakuna pesa za mafuta, tractor haziko, nini zimeharibika, lakini watu wangu wanashindwa, pesa zinakusanywa, kwa nini hatutengenezewi barabara?
They are now calling on Governor Wavinya Ndeti to address their concerns and bring development programs to the area, pointing out that she has been in office for over 2 years but has failed to deliver any tangible progress, leaving them to suffer despite paying taxes like other residents of Machakos County.
Sisi tunataka kujua maendeleo tutapata. Tulikuchagua, ulikuja huku katulilia, tukakupea kura, lakini hakuna kitu unatufanyia. Mawe zinakatwa huku, kaunti inapata pesa mingi kutoka huku na hatufaidiki.
The protesters pledged to continue holding regular demonstrations to remind the governor of their unmet needs. Christine Matunda, Sunday Express.
From Machakos now to Mombasa County, where the Ministry of Agriculture flagged off 20,000 metric tons of fertilizer to be distributed to farmers across the country. Now, while flagging off the consignment at the Port of Mombasa, Administration Secretary in the State Department of Agriculture, Harun Kato, said the government is collaborating with the National Cereals and Produce Board to ensure farmers have timely access to essential inputs for the planting season.
Kwa hivyo mbolea iko na tunaomba wakulima wawe mstari ya mbele, watumie mbolea vizuri. Na vile vile wakiona walagai wowote ambao wanajihusisha, waeleze serikali ili tuchukue hatua kuhakikisha ya kwamba hatutakuwa na habari yoyote mbaya. Lazima taifa letu likuwe na chakula cha kutosha na pia tukuwe na chakula cha kuweza kutuma katika mataifa mengine.
That brings us to a fast breather tonight on Sunday Express. Something to ponder on is a number of youth are no longer in the church. Why? And what are the churches doing to ensure that we bring back the youth in church? We'll be discussing that in not too long. Do not go away. We'll be right back.
Town Express. Twende bwana, town. Watu ya town, twende. Kalia hapo nyuma, kalia. Bado haijajaa, dereva watu wengine 7.
Kwani wazako si ungekulia kweli? Sasa umetoka wapi? Mimi sitaki mahindi leo.
Wewe unamchia mkate.
Siagusi mkate fubi.
Wewe ongea bado usiguze mkate yangu.
Sishike hivi. Unataka kulia huko mbali na mimi. Sisi nakulamiwa ni wewe.
Donda, gari imejaa na bado unasema watu waingie. Tuambie dereva hapo apunguze wimbo.
Niongea sana hapa. Hakuna volume inapunguzwa hapa. Kama unataka kuendesha gari yako, enda dial *570# option ya 3. Watu wanaendesha magari hapa nje na wewe bado unapiga nyenyenye kwa matatu. Option 3, unalipa ama unasuka.
Comfort yako iko kwa *570# option 3. Master Genio moja safi, reliable, modern safety and security features. Cheza mara kadhaa ujaze entry ticket zako kwenye draw ili uimarishe uwezo wa kushinda. Mshindi tunamtangaza 27th of April na tani tutakufikishia.
Omega unaenda hapa wewe?
Mimi sindi na madri nishainuka na *570#.
Inuka na Genio kwa *570# option 3.
Asante.
We heard you. Tax amnesty is back. Kenya Revenue Authority is giving 100% relief on interest, penalties and fines for tax debts incurred up to 31st December 2023. Don't miss out. Take action now by settling your outstanding tax debt through easy-to-pay installments by 30th June 2025 and watch those penalties and fines for tax debts disappear. It's now or never to set your tax records right. Take advantage of the tax amnesty today. Terms and conditions apply. Kenya Revenue Authority, tulipe ushuru tujitegemee.
Welcome back. Now, Kericho woman representative Beatrice Kimei has launched a vertical kitchen garden in Kapsoit Ward, a technology that requires just 0.1 acre piece of land to grow vegetables, significantly boosting family income. She encouraged both the youth and women to adopt this innovation for food security and commercial purposes. The initiative, dubbed Usawa kwa Water, is designed to support widows and the elderly. Nearly 1,000 vertical kitchen gardens have already been set up for vulnerable families and schools across the county. Silas Kipruto, a youth and a farmer in Kericho, highlighted that many families now have less than 1 acre of land, and this technology does offer a way to maximize on food production on smaller plots.
We've done almost 1,000 in Kericho County to schools, to families, vulnerable families, and even we are planning to do for the church.
The first thing is the food production, the nutrition. If the nutrition of the family is well, then any other things can be sorted.
Now, Principal Secretary, State Department for Irrigation, Ephantus Kimoto, has disclosed that the transformative multi-billion shillings Mwache multi-purpose dam overall completion status is at 28%, with the main dam now at 16%. The PS reiterated that the full concreting exercise of the main dam has gained momentum, and they will be working round the clock for 18 months towards its completion. Anboro with the details.
Works at the multi-billion shillings multi-purpose Mwache Dam are ongoing as the contractor works round the clock towards beating the February 2027 deadline for completion. According to the Principal Secretary, State Department for Irrigation, Ephantus Kimoto, who was on a site visit of the dam accompanied by the World Bank Global Water Practice Director Saroj Jha, the full concreting exercise of the main dam has gained momentum and will take 18 months of round-the-clock non-stop concreting.
The project overall completion status is 28%, but on the lower check dam where we were before, the project is at 60%, and that is expected to be complete by September this year. Where we are right now, we can say we are at 16%. This is the main dam. We are actually at 16%. The concreting was estimated is estimated to take 18 months from the time they've started to the time it comes to a completion.
The dam will not only address the water shortage in Mombasa and Kwale counties, it will also support irrigation farming, which will lead to food security.
So as we do that component of watershed management, we're also combining it with an irrigation component in a program we're calling farmer-led irrigation development. In this program, we'll be doing water pans. These water pans will be used to plant the trees for watershed management. At the same time, will be used to help farmers do irrigation.
This water storage capacity will allow you to store more water when it rains and use that water, especially when you have a dry spell. So this is also a defense against drought. and floods. And this is very much in line with World Bank's support to the countries to deal with the issues of climate change.
The PS reiterated that the land compensation exercise was halted as they remain steadfast to paying another 600 million shillings in a few months as they await allocation in the next financial year to complete the 1.4 billion shillings debt that will have remained.
The total cost of land compensation in this project was 4.6 billion, and so far the government has already paid 2.6 billion. So the balance of 2 billion, we are going to be paying another 600 million in the next few months, and in the next financial year we'll be paying the balance of 1.4 billion.
The multi-purpose Mwache Dam is at 28% completion. For Sunday Express from Kwale County, I am Ann Mburu.
Now, Pope Francis has been discharged from Gemelli Hospital in Rome, but doctors say he needs to rest for at least 2 months. Earlier, the pontiff appeared at the balcony of the hospital room and offered a blessing for the first time since being admitted on February 14th. The doctors, while discharging the Pope, said although he's not completely healed, he no longer has pneumonia.
The 88-year-old pontiff appeared at the balcony of his hospital room for the first time since he was admitted on February 14th. During the past 5 weeks, Pope Francis has been in critical condition, where his life was in danger due to pneumonia. According to doctors treating him, the Pope, however, was never intubated and always remained alert and oriented. Though the Pope is not completely healed, he no longer has pneumonia and is in stable condition. The doctors thereafter discharged the pontiff but prescribed 2 months of rest. Pope Francis has spent 12 years as the leader of the Roman Catholic Church. He has suffered several health issues throughout his life, including having part of one of his lungs removed at age 21, making him prone to infections. Gishuki Washira, Sunday Express.
Wishing the pontiff a quick recovery there. To counties now, hundreds of youth from Majengo area, Nairobi County on Saturday evening disrupted the burial ceremony of Dennis Muthoi, who was allegedly shot dead by police, sparking protests in Majengo 2 weeks ago. These and other stories from our counties.
During the burial ceremony in Kaiti, Makueni County, the group of rowdy youth began chanting anti-government slogans, calling on the government to ensure the person responsible for Muthoi's death is arrested and held accountable.
Sisi tunataka justice ya kijana Dennis ipatikane. Kwa sababu yule askari ambao aliua huyu kijana anapaswa kuwa amewekwa ndani.
On development, Kenya Seed Company chairperson Wangui Ngirishi has urged President William Ruto to prioritize the completion of unfinished projects in Kirinyaga County that were initiated during Uhuru Kenyatta's tenure.
It is our right wakuja tutengeneze hiyo kanal ndio tuweze kutumia hiyo maji na tutengeneze ukulima ndio tuweze kuwa na chakula mingi ya kupea watu Kenya mzima.
Elsewhere, the alternate board director in the Ministry of Information, Communications and Digital Economy, Waweru Kimani, says Kenya is working closely with the Universal Service Fund to ensure the whole country is covered by the telecommunication network.
The 4%, this is work going forward. Yeah? Ni kazi ambayo inaendelea. Si ati tukimaliza hii tunarara, hapana. Tuko na miradi mingi tunaendelea tukiimplement all over the country. Mahali ambayo tunakuta is underserved or unserved, we implement that project countrywide.
In Nandi County, a family in Aldai is demanding justice for their daughter, who was beaten allegedly by a teacher at Chebisas Girls High School, leaving her with serious injuries. The school principal, however, denied the allegations.
Na alikuwa anashake, kichwa inashake, mkono inashake. Na tulipojaribu na walimu kumuuliza shida yake, alikuwa anaandika alichapwa na mwalimu wake wa kompyuta.
There is no such incident of injury to the said student in school.
In Meru County, Njuru Ncheke Council of Ameru Elders has urged former Governor Kawira Mwangaza to support her successor Isaac Mutuma to enable him to deliver to the people of Meru.
Naomba viongozi wote wazikane na umoja
Hatutaki kusikia upande hii nafanya hapana. Mambo yaliyopita tushaona yaliyopita, tufanye kazi. Na lengo yetu kama wazee ni kuona Wameru wamepatana na tunafanya kazi moja.
A section of leaders from Wajir County have vowed to support the broad-based government following the nomination of former Wajir North Member of Parliament Ibrahim Ahmed Abdisalan as the Principal Secretary for National Coordination.
We pray to you to enable him to undertake that duty with ease and success and in the service of the nation.
In Homa Bay County, non-governmental organizations offering medical services have been urged to support the efforts of the national and county governments in ensuring that quality healthcare services reach the grassroots levels.
We need to give back to the community in various ways, like if you are in the the health side, we can support our people with giving free medical camps, and in other areas, so long as you can do something for your people, it's giving back to the communities.
Martini Maslin for Sunday Express.
Inuka na loto moto sasa kwa star 570 hash option ya 4 kuna kashamba juja na nika 50 by 100 worth 1.7 million Kenyan shillings. Na hii si shamba tu, iko kwa prime location few minutes from Juja Town. Stima yako iko ndani, na kama ni development rapid and so promising. Na mambo ya landlord, mwisho wa mwanzo ni hapa. Ukishinda hili shamba tunakuongeza 1 million Kenyan shillings ujijengee nyumba yako kwa shamba yako. Kuinuka na loto moto ni kucheza sasa hivi kupitia star 570 hash option ya 4 au register deposit na ucheze sasa hivi kwa www.tushinde.com na ujishindie shamba hili na addition of 1 million Kenyan shillings. Inuka na loto moto.
Marada. Ni nini wewe kimekuleta hapa? Nataka nikustrap na mautams.
Acha sasa nianze kukula. Fanya hivi.
Yes, customer.
Utaniletea kuku.
Habari yako?
Mzuri.
Nauliza kama umeona Onjiri. Wacha kuniangalia na hizo macho.
Hata simujui.
Hebu nisonge.
Ndio maana Onjiri anoni.
Lakini wewe na wewe. Nini acha kunifanyisha hii marathon PE sijui nini. Wanataka kukula kabadi mama. Ole ndonyo.
Hiyo ndio marada.
Onjiri. Atiana.
Na unakula kuku Onjiri?
Wamenipatia kama ya kunipigia pole.
Unajifanya hapa na unakula hapa makuku. Toka twende.
Welcome back. So tonight on Sunday Express, we are looking at youth as a pillar of the church, and my guest this evening is none other than Archbishop of Nairobi, ex-Arch of Kenya and East Africa, Macarius Tilly Rides. Welcome, Archbishop. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
All right. Now, let's just pick your brain. There's been public discourse in the public domain. What is your take in regard to, donations made by various leaders or politicians at the pulpit to the church? What is it right? Is it wrong? Since everyone has an opinion about it.
Okay, myself, after spending, let us say, more than 4 decades here in East Africa, I have to say that without the assistance of donors, we cannot construct churches and schools. Mm-hmm. And for this reason, here in my mission, I have been receiving from abroad, especially donors, money to construct churches and schools and orphanages. So we are welcoming anybody who is willing to assist the church. I don't think that there is something negative.
All right. Now, when we look at the statistics and the numbers, when you look at the number of youth attending church in recent years, the numbers have been dwindling. From where you sit, why do you think we are having few youth actually attending church?
Whether it is true or not, I myself, I have to testify that in our Orthodox church, I can say that because I am the patron of the youth myself for so many years, I have to say that I am supporting very much the young generation, because they are not only for today, but they are also for the future, because we are expecting them to contribute greatly for the development of our country, Kenya. That is why we need to support always the young people in all possible ways, because this is the only way that we are expecting them to be, let us say, the ones who are going to build the future society in this country where we are.
So, Archbishop, what do you think the church needs to do to have more youth actually participate in, church?
Yes. Okay. On our side, ourselves, we are supporting very much the cultures, the different cultures of the people. And the young people, they like very much singing and dancing. So which means that although we have our services in the churches every Sunday, and of course myself, I can say in our theological seminary, still we are allowing them to express themselves, what is giving to them the joy to, let us say, to praise the Lord. Yes, through dancing and through singing. I don't see that it is something which is not accepted by the church. That is the reason we have a lot of young people participating in our services, in all the other actions of our church. And myself personally, I have constructed a good number of primary, secondary, and even university level, institutions, to assist and to show to the young people that the church is really supporting them.
All right.
And in this way, we see that there is future. Okay. Yes, we are giving the chance to the youth to participate, because they are the future leaders.
Indeed. Now that we find ourselves, we are working in the present, looking at the future. What are you doing to incorporate technology? Because a majority of the youth are literally online, they're tech savvy. Is the church ready, or has it adopted technology to also bring the youth to the fold?
Of course, we have technology, and we are using technology on a daily basis. This is the only way. We have to follow our present means in our society. That is the reason we are very much encouraging, and it is a way of giving to the youth the chance to be more supported in their lives through the present situation of technology.
You've mentioned that you have been part and parcel, of constructing learning institutions all the way from primary all the way to college and university. But once the church actually constructs such an institution, does it just end with the setup of the building, or is there more to it to ensure that it runs?
No, I have to tell you that from the time when I constructed my first actually primary school, very far in Laikipia, in Lopere Primary School, and then in Nandi, Macarius Boys, and then in South Nyanza, also another secondary school in Vihiga, St. Mark's Secondary School, and so many other schools. We are actually following, and we are up to this present day contributing for the development of those schools.
So it's not just the construction, you also...
No, it is not just the construction. We are supporting the teaching staff, we are giving scholarships to the students, and for your information, today I have a good number of them who are studying abroad in the different universities.
So tell me about that, sponsorship, education sponsorship, because one of the challenges that a majority of parents and guardians are facing is a cost to education. So how can one actually benefit from this sponsorship?
Yes, it is the reason why our church is supporting very much education through paying the school fees for university students, for secondary school, etc. And we see that this is the only way for the church to be part of the lives of our people, of our young people. So by supporting them, we have seen a lot of miracles, I can say, because those people supported by us, by the church, and I can mention today the area of Ewaso, the Maasais. They are all now leaders in that society of Maasai land, because through our education, when they were small children, we supported them. Then when they went to the secondary, to the university, so today they are the leaders of that area.
This sponsorship, does it only, are only members of your church beneficiaries, or does it identify the vulnerable within the community?
Oh yes, we have also the majority are members of our church, but we have cases whereby people are coming to me to ask assistance for the education of their children. And I can mention here a Muslim father, and I'm supporting the education of his children. So which means that the church is really open. And this is the only way to show to the people that we are embracing each and every culture. So which means that we are not interested to support our own people, but also the others. That is why our church is so close with each and every culture, and it is the only way to show to the people that we are peaceful and we are embracing them, and we are actually participating in their activities.
Okay. Now, religious extremism has been a challenge, especially in the Horn of Africa, and ourselves as Kenya, we find ourselves susceptible with a spillover as such. From where you sit as a church, what are you doing to combat this?
Okay, as I said before, the only way to avoid such situations, it is to proclaim the message of the gospel and to give to our people the message of peace, of unity, of love, of repentance, and humility. So this is the only way we can bring all the people together. And this is how, on my side, myself, I am working with a lot of love, and people can testify this in different areas, from Lodwar up to Lamu, from Lamu up to Western Kenya, South Nyanza. You know, we have all these institutions. By giving the message to the local people, to the communities, that we should work together and we should embrace one another. Yes.
Now, churches have found themselves, you know, in the receiving end, especially when it comes to safety of the congregants. You know, we've had cases, you know, of sexual exploitation by some leaders. What is your take on this?
Okay, of course, that one, we are not actually accepting it. You know, it is not something which is, let us say, promoting our faith, our ideals, and it is for this reason that we, as leaders of the church, we should avoid such cases because they are not giving a good image to our youth. Because we should impose, actually, and we should teach our young people the message of the gospel, which is very clear.
Okay.
We don't have such cases in our church anyway, as far as I know.
Okay, good. Now, as we come to a close, Archbishop, what does the future portend, you know, from where you sit, for for your church? What does the future portend in terms of the programs that you're running, as well as, you know, initiatives to just empower and build capacity among the youth?
Oh yes, we are still ourselves struggling on a daily basis. Of course, we need a lot of money, and I thank God that myself, I am able to speak to my friends abroad, and different organizations, different churches, of course, in Europe, in America, in Australia, who are supporting our efforts. And in this way, we are giving the possibility to our young people to receive the necessary education in all possible ways. So this is the only way we can really construct the future of our nation.
Very well said. We have been speaking to none other than Archbishop of Ex-Arch of Kenya and East Africa, Macarius Tilliride, saying that the future is with the youth, and the only way the church can actually build capacity with the youth is getting into progressive programs like supporting education. That brings a cap to Matters Sunday Express on our interactive segment. That is our conversation tonight. But we're not done and dusted. We have updates on what has been happening in the sporting arena coming up with not too long with none other than Daniel Wahome. Do stay tuned.
Jet A1, cheza aviator bila data bila credo. Dial *892# for instant takeoff. Pepea bila pressure kucrash au kucash out. Aviator bila data, aviator bila credo. Uko na kabambe, wewe pia ni rubani mnoma. Dial *892#. Jet A1, michezobets.com. Cheza kwa kuwajibika. Kushiriki ni miaka 18 au zaidi. BCLB license number 0000664.
Got the fear of missing out? Want to keep up with all the latest entertainment news and latest celebrity gossip? From the latest rumors to popping events to the newest fashion trends, here is where you get all the tea or juice when it comes to entertainment, and you get it served on time. All that and so much more on Grapevine every single Monday from 10 p.m. and a rerun every Tuesday from 2 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1. Remember, if you did not see it on Grapevine, then it most probably never happened.
A very good evening to you. My name is Daniel Wahome and welcome to Sunday Express Sport. President William Ruto says the Kenyan government will build on the success of the 2025 WRC Safari Rally Kenya to make the 2026 event and the others that follow even better. President Ruto was speaking this afternoon at Hell's Gate in Naivasha just before the award ceremony that saw Alvin Evans crowned champion of the third leg of the WRC 2025 calendar, which is the Safari Rally Kenya, a maiden win for him in the Safari and a fifth in a row for Toyota.
Alvin Evans survived the mud, the dust and the twists and turns of Safari Rally Kenya to emerge the 2025 champion, that being his second successive win of the 2025 season after winning Rally Sweden last month. The Toyota GR Yaris Rally 1 driver, co-driven by Scott Martin, beat Hyundai rival Ott Tanak and Thierry Neuville, who was second and third respectively. At Hell's Gate in Naivasha, Evans was handed his award by President William Ruto, who stressed the government's intent of keeping the Safari Rally Kenya on the WRC calendar.
As we look ahead, we invite all of you to join us once again for the 73rd edition of the WRC Safari Rally in 2026. We will continue to build on the success of this year, creating more opportunities for growth, for innovation, and excitement for both participants and spectators.
In addition to keeping the Safari Rally Kenya, President Ruto also commended the FIS helmet program that he said plays a major role in promoting safety and talent development.
Safety, ladies and gentlemen, remains a top priority for us. I am proud to see the continued success of our helmet program, which is essential for the safety of both drivers and road users. The collaboration with the FIA Foundation and AA Kenya is promoting safe mobility is crucial, and we are grateful for their continued support.
Evans, who is in love with the Safari Rally Kenya, said he would love to be back in 2026 despite the event being a year away.
I don't know, I haven't thought of ahead that far, to be honest. It's one season at a time for me, so yeah, I haven't thought that far, but of course it's such an iconic event, it definitely should be on the calendar.
Things did not go so well for last year's champion Kale Rovanpera, who bowed out of the event on the last day due to electrical problems. Ian Duncan, who finished 15th overall, was the best placed Kenyan, having won the KNRC. After Safari Rally Kenya, the WRC series heads to Spain for the Rally Islas Canarias on the 24th to 27th of April, then Rally Portugal on the 15th to 18th of May. The season ends with Rally Saudi Arabia on the 27th to 30th of November. Barclay Feather, Sunday Express.
And now heavy snarl-ups, excited crowds and edgy rally fans characterized the last day of the 73rd edition of the WRC Safari Rally that culminated today after 4 days of grueling racing in Naivasha. But Bernard Okumu has got that report.
An adrenaline-filled event only begets fans of marching energy. And with the 2025 Safari Rally coming to a screeching halt on Sunday, thousands of rally fans all headed to Hell's Gate to spectate the event. Along Moi South Lake Road, a heavy traffic snarl-up was witnessed after hundreds of rally fans rushed to catch the final spectacle of the 2025 Safari Rally.
There's a lot to take forward to 2026. Well, one, having more designated places for spectators and having designing more access routes for the spectators so that we don't have challenges of traffic in the next events.
At the Hell's Gate, rally fans searched for vantage points to watch the rally. Some perched atop the matatus and private cars just to catch a glimpse of the action.
So far so good, everything imekuwa nice. Kutoka Friday, everything imekuwa smooth, mejo kuna madinga zingine, yani kuna drivers wamejituma, man, it's been awesome.
Nimefika WRC today literally to see the cars and enjoyment, minister of enjoyment, yeah, and also supporting our Kenyans pale, you know.
Tumebambika kuona magari zikizunguka, zikifanya hizo mapapa. It has been nice.
I'm so glad to see the cars. It was so fun and amazing. For those who are planning, may you plan more. Even if this is mentioned as the last, may there be changes of mind and plan more.
Tumekuja na bike kutoka Ravine Baringo kuja kuangalia Safari Rally. Bana tu represent Baringo. Sisi si mabandit lakini sisi ni wase tunajielewa.
And after 4 days of the grueling race, the victors were crowned, adding to the cherry on top of the 4 unforgettable days of the rally that saw both Kenyan and foreign drivers battling and attempting to tame the famed Safari Rally. On the backdrop of the competitive nature of the 2025 Safari Rally, of course the drivers were busy trying to tame the untamable Safari Rally. The fans also had a chance to have the experience of what this particular race had to offer in terms of entertainment, as well as just for them to have fun. Reporting for Channel 1 Sports from Hell's Gate in Naivasha, I'm Bernard Okumu.
Cheers, Bernard Okumu and Barclay Feather, for keeping us updated on the WRC Safari Rally from Naivasha. Now, the Harambee Stars' hopes of qualifying for the 2026 FIFA World Cup finals have taken a hit after a 2-1 loss to Gabon in a match played today at the Nyao National Stadium. Gabon captain Pierre-Emerick Emiliano Francois Aubameyang, who plays as striker for Saudi Pro League club Al Qadisiyah, scored both goals in the 16th and 52nd minutes. Harambee Stars, who netted the consolation goal through a Michael Lunga strike in the 62nd minute, will return to action in the qualifiers in September when they host Gambia for the reverse fixture on the 1st of September. They will then face the Seychelles in Nairobi on the 8th of September. The winner of each group will qualify directly for the World Cup, while the 4 best runners-up teams will compete in a playoff to determine which teams advance to the Interconfederation playoffs.
Full cap on.
Rolled past Otieno. Nice flick. Uma gets away. Uma's cross. Olunga! Well, if it was going to be someone, then it was going to be him. Michael Olunga with what could be a massive goal for Kenya. They're back in the game. You wouldn't imagine for too much longer. It goes no further at the Nyayo National Stadium. Gabon take a huge step towards qualifying for their first.
And that's the sport for tonight. So many reactions to come from the Harambee Stars performance tonight. The WRC Safari Rally, Thierry Neuville unwell on Saturday. And again, 5 wins in a row for Toyota. That hasn't happened in the Safari Rally. That is the first time one manufacturer has won that 5 in a row. And remember, we're heading back to a week where we've got the FKF Premier League and lots happening, but also other African qualifiers. So keep it KBC Channel 1 and we'll keep you updated on all of that. My name is Daniel Wahome. Thank you for being with us as we broadcast to you Hell's Gate 1, Hell's Gate 2, and followed by Kenya versus Gabon. And back to you.
Well, that effectively puts a cap on Matter Sunday Express. Some of the stories we are going to be quickly following up on come next week, give or take if it starts on a Monday or tonight, Sunday, is we're going to be looking at the security situation in Fafi, as well as the security situation in Baringo. We're also going to be keeping tabs on what is going to be happening from Monday as IEBC seeks to replace the late chair of Ula Chebukati, as well as other commissioners, as the selection panel embarks on those public interviews. KBC Channel 1 is going to be televising that live. Do make that appointment. See you next time when you see me. Be good.